see. Will you come turn my machine off for me? Will you push that button to turn it off? It's still going, and I'm supposed to be live. What? The gray one? Push it gently. Thank you. Hi. And now, would you please get that trash can out of... Oh my gosh, the whole litter box is in my video. Let's move a little bit. Carrie says, good morning from snowy Montana. Girl, I am headed your way, sister. Hey, no more. Get her loud butt out of here. I almost said a word. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on YouTube. Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are when you're watching this live video. You will notice that there is chaos behind me. That is because this week I moved out of the shed, the Designs by Little Bee shed, which served me faithfully and wonderfully for about a year. Hi, friend. Would you like to be in the video? Here's a cat I don't think you've seen before. This is our gray bee. His name is Mr. Baby. And he wears a bow tie. Show him your bow tie, mister. Yeah, he's the sweetest little baby in the whole world. And yes, you're beautiful too. You always get the attention. Go away. Guess who that is? The one that always gets the attention. Guess who that is? Little Miss Fluffy Von Fluffy Pants. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So we moved the Carissa, you beautiful soul. Carissa just sent me a super chat. And that reminds me, if you feel like buying me a cup of coffee, which I'm going to need after this, or I say something that you like or think is funny or hilarious or clever, or you just want to send me like a little virtual tip, you can send a super chat when I do a YouTube live. It's a fun way to just say, hey, your comment gets featured in the video. Just a little something to do. So thank you, Carissa, and good morning. I'm headed your way as soon as I can. So this week I moved from the shed in the backyard back to where my office was when we first moved here. And let me tell you what, you guys, I have become a pro at moving this office. This office has been moved how many times? Okay, so I started in the basement through Missoula, Montana. Okay, I will. You know what? Y'all know my wife is from, well, she's not from Montana. When we met, she lived in Montana. But how long did you live in Montana? Hello? How long did you live in Montana?
12 years.
12 years she lived in Montana. 12 years. We're going back. I'm taking her back. I'm taking her back that direction. She moved here for me. You know, everybody needs a spouse like that. But now we're going back. And I've never lived anywhere but Tennessee. So this is like a huge adventure, and I'm really excited. I forgot what the point was of all that. Oh, yeah. And so I've become a pro at moving this office, and it took us this time to move out of the shed because we're selling the shed because we're renting this house, and our landlord doesn't want it. She doesn't see the value in it, so she said, yeah, just sell it, whatever. So I own it, so I'm gonna sell it, and so we just moved all the stuff out so we can get some nice pictures, clean it up, you know, get ready. And this time it took me probably 4 hours. I would say probably about 4 hours, with a lot of help from my spouse, and actually my ex-spouse was also here helping, and we're all getting along great. If you've been in my Facebook group and you've ever seen the drama over the years, life is really stable and nice for me right now. So there's that. But we moved this whole office in probably 4 hours, I would say, and had it put back together. Like when I came in to here yesterday morning, I believe it was, I was ready to work Turn my computer on, turn my machine on, everything was here. My vinyl, my fabric, all my knickknacks and doodads. I mean, they're not in the greatest order, but I can find them all, which is very important. So I've become a pro at moving this office. And I'll tell you one thing that, hey, Elena, thank you. I can read that out loud. It says, hey, girl, hey. Thank you for that super chat, Elena. Somebody I'm going to take with me to the Pacific Northwest if I can ever talk her into it. So the big kicker for me this time in moving the office was, oh, she said she's going. Yes, I'm building my own little community. The biggest positive that I did, the best strategy that I used this time when I moved my office is this. So I have a dual monitor screen right here. I mean, a dual monitor setup with my computers. I keep my Embroidery on one screen and I keep my my internet on the other, the Chrome tabs and stuff. And I've got a desk, a keyboard, a printer, a label printer, assorted lamps and speakers and webcams and all sorts of stuff. I have a big setup of electronics that go with my office. And when we moved, the last 2 times I moved, I took everything apart. The second time I did it, I was smart enough to put like Post-its on every cable and say, this is where this goes. This is where this goes. Now that was smart. But what I did this time was I unplugged the power strip and we grabbed the entire setup, just each piece of it, put it into a wagon, rolled it into the house, and just put it right back on another desk. That's it. I didn't unplug any monitors. I didn't unplug anything from the power strip. The power strip came with me and I just plugged it in and rearranged the cords and we were good. That's the way to do it. Now I realize I can't do that when, oh, good morning from Brazil. Hello. Hello. I don't know if I've ever had anybody join me from Brazil. So I realize that I can't just drag a wagon to Oregon. What I'm lovingly referring to as the Oregon Trail, which is what we're going to do because I'm an 80s kid. And if you know, you know. But it'll be something like labeling the cords. But this time, I was good at it. We just pulled everything into the house, plugged it back in, and Designs by Little B was good to go the next morning when I woke up at 5:30. So anyway, so I was thinking about, and I'm going to show you guys some new designs in just a second, but I did start talking about how many times I've moved. And if you've been with me for 10 years since I was Designs by Little B in the basement, I had brown hair and bangs and a cute little bob haircut. And that was 2015. So that was 10 years ago, I believe, is when I moved into the basement of that house when this became a thing. I went from the basement to a bonus room in that house. Then I moved into an apartment. Then I moved to a small house. And then I moved to this house. So how many moves is that? It's a lot. And I have just become a pro. I put all the vinyl in a box. I put all the fabric in a box. I get rid of anything that I haven't used in that time period that I've lived there. Like if I haven't used it by now, I don't need it. And I get rid of it. And when we moved to Oregon, in just under 3 months, we are really purging and shedding a lot of stuff I've accumulated somehow over just 5 years since I moved out of that bigger house. So one of those, unfortunately, is selling my embroidery machine. I will have another one. I'm not selling my website. I'm not selling my designs. I mean, there is a price on it on my website and my designs. It's more than I think any reasonable person would pay. But I will never, I can't see myself ever not digitizing, ever. I've always said that if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would still digitize. I would just do it for fun. It wouldn't be like what I need to live off of. I love it. It's fun. It's great. I would have like 4 brother embroidery machines and they would sponsor me Hello. I've been trying to get them to. I would just have like this massive embroidery room and I would just digitize all day, all the things, and not worry about, how much everything costs and all the little things. But I will never stop doing that. It's fun. It's what I love to do. So no worries about that. I know when I start talking about moving and selling my machine and selling my shed and selling this and selling that, people are like, are you still digitizing? Of course. Yes. Right now, I mean, it's my job. But even if it weren't my full-time job, I would still do it because I like it. So right now and through the 15th, which is in 6 days, what's on sale at designsbylittlebee.com is spring/Easter and lip balm fobs. So with that in mind, yesterday I made a new embroidery design and I stitched them out and I'm about to take pictures of them. So I wanted to show you just a little tidbit into my process of taking pictures. And then I'm going to list these on the website and they'll be 50% off. Of course, they're new, so I think they would already be 50% off. I don't know. Anyway, they're just a few bucks. So what I made yesterday was a lip balm fob. It's both themes. It's both spring, Easter, and lip balm. So I was at Dollar Tree recently. I know, crazy, right? And I found these. I can say this because it's on the package. Peeps. It's Peeps. We have to be really careful. Peeps lip balms at Dollar Tree. I got all 4 colors, or flavors, all 4 flavors. There is strawberry, vanilla, grape, and cotton candy. I got all 4 flavors, and to go with those, I made a bunny-themed lip balm fob. And I made them in the colors that match the packages, because that's how I roll. So I'm about to take some pictures of these. It's a wonderful cloudy day. If you cannot see how lovely my skin looks right now, it's because I'm sitting in front of this giant window, which is why I missed this room. And it is a beautiful, cool, chilly, cloudy day. And with that said, that is one of the biggest aspects of your product photography that you need to think about is lighting. Lighting. And after I sell my machine, I'm actually going to come out with a big video and instructional PDF that goes with it about how to take great product pictures. So look for that, but I can't focus on that right now because I got to use my machine because I'm selling it. But I'll give you a little rundown of my top tips for taking good pictures of your products or projects. Even if you don't sell them. I mean, maybe you just want to brag about something that you knitted or crocheted on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I will. She says, so you're chilling with your peeps today, literally. Yeah. So the first tip, I'm just going to give you some brief tips. I should have written them down. But the first tip is lighting. Lighting. If you do not have good lighting, anything else you do, your picture's not going to be the best that it could be. And one thing I learned from a photographer whose house I used to clean when I first moved to Nashville almost 20 years ago, I cleaned houses for a living because it was easy to start up and cheap. And I had some business cards made and I said, hey, I can clean a house. And it worked out for me for quite a while. So I worked for this amazing photographer, and he told me that when he takes wedding pictures, like the number one thing that brides usually say is, oh great, it's a beautiful sunny day, how perfect for pictures. And he was always like the sun is not your friend when it comes to taking pictures. It is not. The yellowy light of the sun doesn't lend to good pictures. It also creates hella shadows. Okay, and if you can imagine for a bride, if you're standing outside and you got your full face of makeup and then you get like shadows under your eyes, you get a shadow under your nose, like you got a mustache, circles under your eyes because you got shadows under your eyes, it is not good, even though you think it is. The perfect lighting for taking pictures is And guess where I'm moving is the place where this is common, is very cloudy, like a bright but very cloudy day. This light that you see right now, this is all natural light. I have nothing, and you can see how great that lighting is. It's bright, but it's very cloudy outside. So that gives this nice natural neutral light that helps your colors come through perfectly. Like this, I'm looking at it in real life and I'm looking at it on the camera. This is exactly the colors that are on this package. And especially for embroidery, and especially if you're selling your projects, whatever they may be, if it's embroidery, if it's like a beanie that you made, whatever, you want customers to be able to see the colors, because you don't want them to say, oh, this is not the red that you said it was, or whatever. It doesn't look like the picture. So you want natural light and cloudy, bright weather. No flash. Don't ever use the flash on your phone. The only time you should ever use the flash on your phone to take a picture that you're going to share is if, like, you're taking a picture in the dark because your cat looks so cute when it's sleeping by the fireplace or whatever. Do not want to use flash. It washes out the pictures. It's too bright. It's awful. The colors do not match real life. So that's your first tip. My second tip, I'm going to give you 3 because that's what I can think of off the top of my head right now. My second tip is, actually I'll give you 4. My second tip is to use a background that is, I want to say something that you can kind of brand to look like your own. Like if you notice really popular sellers on their websites, or even on Etsy, if you use Etsy, they have a certain look to all of their pictures. I'm the same way. You can see in my website, way back in the day, I used to use a piece of burlap hot glued onto a canvas. That was my background. Awful. I was taking pictures in a basement. Okay, so it was just awful all around. These days, I use this background. You will see this on almost every picture on my website right now. You know what this is? This is a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper. I got it at Joann. It was probably 50 cents or less. And this is my backdrop for all my pictures. This makes me a bit of money that I get, that pays my bills, because I take good pictures. And this is kind of my ongoing theme, is this dotted background. And also, these 12 by 12 pieces of paper are great. I say this because you can buy backdrops, which are kind of plasticky kind of things that people use for photography. You can buy those on like Amazon and whatnot, but oftentimes they're pretty big, and you don't need anything really big if you're taking a picture of this, right? So I use 12 by 12 scrapbooking papers. The bonus about scrapbooking papers is this: they come in so many fun prints. So for example, just right here, I have a whole, I bought a plastic 12 by 12 scrapbook paper storage bin. I think it was $8 or so. And I have over 100 prints for sure. I don't use them as much as I should, mainly because I buy them and think, oh, that'll be cute for a picture of blah, 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 and then I forget I have it. But just right here, what I've been using recently, I've got this super cute pretzel paper. I don't remember why I bought that, because I have like 4 pretzel designs. I don't think I've ever used it. I have this rainbow, beautiful bright colored rainbow paper, and I have a few more over in my supplies. I just have these out because I've been using the rainbow one and the dots very, very often recently. And I also have another play on the dots. I don't know if you can see. This one's like brown, blue, like muted blue, like neutral colored dots. And then this one is orange, pink, and yellow dots. And so this one is one of the ones that I'm going to use for my lip balm fobs that I'm about to take pictures of. I'm going to take pictures of them right now because I'm sending something out to my new social media team that I gathered this week, and I'm so excited about. So I will be listing this today, and it does fall into both of these sale categories. So that's your second tip, is find yourself a backdrop. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be a piece of scrapbook paper. It could even be, I mean, if you're making stuff for teachers, you could use a notebook. The lighting is most important, and the background is important. And also the props that you use. I use a lot of props. I've actually got a whole bin of props. And here is one of my favorite things to use in my pictures. This kind of goes along with the backdrop tip. I have this set of colored large lobster clasps. These are my very favorite metal key fobs because they have a split ring for just winding it around something, but they also have this lobster clasp. So if you have a hard time doing the split rings because of like dexterity issues, or if you're putting them on those darn eyelet sanitizers, you know, it's hard to get a split ring through both of those. You just use your lobster clasp. Boom. And these come in all these fun colors. And these are in my Amazon affiliate shop. I will also link them. If you use Amazon, I know. I will put those, a link to those below the video when I get done filming it. These are great, great, great. And so when I'm taking a picture, for example, check out the 4 colors I have here. And I've got something to go. I've got a lobster clasp to go with every color. I've got a pink one, a yellow one. What else do we got? I don't have like aqua blue, but I'm just going to use this blue. I think I might use white. I don't know. And then I've got a purple. And the, I might just use white for this one since I don't have an aqua one, because the consistency is already off with this picture, because if you'll notice, one of these things is not like the other. Do you see what's different with these 3 key fobs? I'll hold them up just for a second. This will also make a great thumbnail, me going like this. You see what's different about those? Okay, I'll tell you in a minute. And third, what was my third thing? Oh, third is your editing. Well, I have a bunch, but the one off the top of my head is editing of your pictures. And I'll tell you how I edit my pictures. I edit them on Instagram because I really like their editing functions. They're easy for me to use. I understand exposure and I understand contrast. Those are the only 2 changes that I make, edits that I make. And I have an Instagram account that is set to private. So it's not for me to share pictures with followers or family or anything like that. It's just for me to edit pictures of my products. And so if you scroll down, I've got thousands of pictures because I take a bunch of pictures, then I go sit on the couch and turn on some Dateline or something. And I, yeah, Kelly said a prize for who gets it first. And I edit my pictures. Just sitting there, changing, making sure it's a square. Social media likes the square. And changing the exposure so it's nice and bright, and a contrast so that those colors really pop. And every once in a while, if I've got something that's really colorful, I'll up the saturation on it just a little bit. These are all settings that are right there in Instagram. And honestly, they're in my Android phone too, and probably iPhone. I don't know. I don't have an iPhone. I have a Google Pixel. But those settings are in my Pixel also. Exposure, contrast, saturation sometimes. So that's it. I think that's all the tips that I had. I have a lot more, but I'm going to put those into the little, I want to call it a course, but it's not a course like, you know, a month-long class. It's just, it's going to be a video with all my tips and a PDF to go with it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to focus on that after my machine is gone. Right now, I'm stitching like the wind because my friend, I think her name is Kristen. If you're watching, you can say hi, is coming to learn how to use a 6 needle and purchase it from me in about a week. So I'm stitching like the wind. I think that's all. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Oh, I need to tell you what's different. So here's what's different. I was going through all of my snaps. I wanted to put heart snaps on the little bunny lip balm fobs. And of course, I did not have a pink heart snap. Not one. Not light pink, not light pink, not dark pink, nothing. So the pink, yeah, the pink, Kelly got it. The pink one is not a heart, it's a butterfly. So that's what's different about those. And I kind of secretly like that because when you do something that's a little off in a picture, sometimes that'll get you more engagement with your picture. Like on social media, if you make a post and you say something that's incorrect, like people love to correct others. So if I post this picture and I say, oh, look at all these lip balm fobs, somebody is bound to say, why didn't you use a heart for the pink one? Or, hey, the pink one's a butterfly. And guess what that is? Engagement. That's engagement. Or if you're doing a video and you say, oh, happy Tuesday, and it's Wednesday, guess what people are going to say? Hey, it's Wednesday. Engagement. So a little something different, a little something off, will get you a little bit of engagement. That's like a social media tip, not so much a photography tip. So I think that is all I wanted to talk about today. Did I talk about everything I'm supposed to talk about? Oh yeah, and also within after I sell my machine, I also have one new pudgy animal that's coming. I have over 20 pudgy animals on my website, designsbylittlebee.com. Type in pudgy animal or pudgy, and you will get a balm of pudgy animals. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. So we have possibilities with the clip art that I have from one of my favorite clip artists of the pudgy animals that I have not made yet. You can guess below if you would like to guess what the next pudgy animal will be. I have a monkey, a giraffe, a bearded dragon, triceratops, everything. I have over 20 pudgy animals. But there are a few that I didn't do for one reason or another from this clip artist's collection of offerings. And I'm going to release a new one for a few weeks after I sell my machine. Just a little something. So you can guess what animal it's going to be if you would like. And I think... Oh! The whole point! Carrie asked raccoon or hippo. Maybe. The whole point of me going live was to talk about... the sale I'm going to have on my website of physical items, which will be the weekend after I sell my machine. That would be 2 weeks from today, I believe is the exact date, on a Saturday, 2 weeks. That gives me a whole week to prepare. And what this is going to be is I have a section on my website that I will link you to. It's for supplies, like where I sell my flash drives, my books, things like that. I will have loaded onto that website at some specified time. I will let you know. You won't be in the dark. And I'm going to have scrap boxes of vinyl, like flat rate boxes of vinyl that you can purchase. I will have some cotton fabric, probably in a scrap box style setup also. I will have sets of embroidered items and things that I've kind of collected over the past couple of years that I've moved from office to office, where I made a whole set of something and I took a nice picture of it and then I was like, well, what am I going to do with it? I don't know, because I don't really sell my projects. Things like, after I take this picture of all these lip balms and the lip balm holders, I like to keep them together as a set, but what am I going to do with them? Like, I don't need 4 lip balms for myself. So I will have those at like super cheap prices that you can buy on my website, a set that I made myself with my machine. Her name is Iola. And I will also have things like different props that I've used over the years that I just don't know what to do with, and I don't really want to like yard sale them. I'm not really sure the market, but I know that the people who buy my embroidery designs love my designs, and they would love to have a little kind of prop or piece of history from the office that is kind of going away. And so this is the kind of thing that I will have on my website on that date. It will be just collections of things I've stitched, collections of vinyl that I don't need to move across the country, collections of fabric that I chose myself to put into a box to mail to you. And that will be on a specified date at a specified time when I will mark those all active, and you can buy them right from my website. That was what I was supposed to tell you. And I told you 12 other things and forgot to say those. Okay, so I will send a newsletter out about that. Right now, I'm worried about the machine, but after that, we're selling off a lot of stuff in this office. We're really having it's a very big move, it's a big deal, and I want personally to start as fresh as possible. And the cool thing about my business is it's mostly contained digitally. So no matter where I go, I have my own intellectual property. And then it's just a matter of what I'm stitching it out on or what supplies I'm using. I can get those anytime, anywhere. So Designs by Little Bee is not going anywhere on the internet. Just the queen bee is going to another state. So that was it. That's what I was really supposed to talk about. Okay, now I'm going to go get busy, and I'm going to take my pictures of my lip balms so I can get these up on the website. And I've got a newsletter to send out and just have a lot of stuff to do today. It's a Saturday, but there's no rest for the weary, and definitely not any rest for those who are moving across the country. So I love you guys. I will see you in the next video, and I'll chat with you in the Facebook group. Bye.